Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Safe Zone podcast. I am Brittney. I work within the mental health field. I offer private therapy sessions. I also do workshops. I also guide meditations. What else do? I do this podcast as well. And as of last year, I started this unique podcast to be a space for you to learn some things within the mental health field, for you to understand yourself a little bit better, to understand people, to understand life. I think the school system and the academic system on the whole, regardless of what level it is, did not do a fantastic job of preparing us for life. It prepared us for work, at least the work to do's, but it did not prepare us as to how to handle ourselves, emotions, relationships, etc. So that's the gap I try to fill within all of my services, including this podcast. Today's episode is episode 3, the cost of authenticity. Why I thought this is an episode worth speaking on, for a couple reasons. First reason, I think that there is a lack of a realistic expectation of the journey of becoming authentic. It sounds really nice. It sounds really empowering. It sounds fun. It sounds fantastic. And it is. But anybody that has been on the journey and is now standing in their authenticity knows what I'm talking about when I say it's not a smooth journey. So I think if we have a little bit more realistic expectation of the journey, then we wouldn't be afraid and step away when we start to experience certain discomforts and unexpected shifts and just things that aren't that pleasant. I also think, I firmly believe that everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has something unique to offer this world. And whatever you have to offer this world, it's needed. So I think being able to stand in your authenticity is important for you to bring out that gift or purpose. And if you don't, then you rob those that you spend this life with of the purpose that you have to offer. I do believe a part of the human life experience is to be of service in some shape or form. And I think the best job, the best experience, the best purpose that you can do is one that aligns with yourself. Not something that makes the most money, not something that someone else told you that you should do, but something that aligns with your personality, your unique skill set, what you have uniquely to offer, your unique skills and talents that may take the average Joe a little bit more effort to do. And third reason why I thought an episode on the cost of authenticity is important is because it takes energy to be fake, and it takes energy to be authentic. You know that saying where it's hard either way? There's a hard on either side. There's a hard road, and there's a lot of energy that it takes to be a fake person and to pretend and to stand up as someone that you're not and pretend to be someone that you're not. And it also takes the energy to figure out your authenticity and to pay the costs that we are going to talk about in this session. So clearly, energy is going to be spent regardless. So why not spend it in something that you know is actually going to pay off in the end, rather than just a continuous cycle of energy to pretend and smile and fake and adapt your personality to a crowd, etc. Yeah? What are you all to expect within this episode? We're going to talk a little bit about what I define as authenticity, different ways that you can express your authenticity. We're going to talk about 5 main costs associated, 5 prices you have to pay when you are choosing to be authentic. And as usual, at the end, I always offer some tips as to how best to apply the information that we spoke about and the topic that we discussed. Because I am a meditation guide, I also complement the end of every episode on this podcast with a little mindful moment, a little mini meditation, just a little moment for you to down-regulate the nervous system, hopefully slow the mind, and allow you all to leave every episode with a little bit more peace. Yeah, so that's what to expect within this episode. So we're going to start. Firstly, authenticity is a few things. It is simply being real and true and unique to yourself. I guess the opposite of fake is real. So being real, being true, being unique. It's a genuine expression of your identity, your beliefs, your values, yourself, without any fear or desire to conform. There's a journey to authenticity, and it starts with self-awareness. You can't stand in your power and your uniqueness if you don't understand yourself and know yourself. So it starts with a level of self-awareness that has to be intentional. Self-awareness doesn't just happen like that. We don't just magically become self-aware. We have to spend intentional time and energy sitting with ourselves, being in solitude, observing our thoughts, observing our emotions, asking particular introspective questions, and even asking those around us about ourselves. There's a level of self-awareness we can get through introspection, but there's also a limit to that. And that's where the opinions of safe people around you are helpful in you getting to know yourself. So authenticity starts with self-awareness. You cannot stand in your authenticity. You can't be your authentic self if you don't know yourself. There's also a level of acceptance of yourself, of the world around you, of your skills, of your talents, of your strengths, of your weaknesses. Acceptance is not an easy journey, but it brings a lot of peace. And in the journey to acceptance, you have lots and lots of different emotions that come up, which are normal, and that's okay. But the point is to eventually usher yourself to a point of acceptance, and then it requires a lot of courage for you to stand in your power. Standing in your authenticity is not for the weak. It takes a lot of strength and courage, not loud, boisterous courage, silent courage sometimes, but it takes courage to stand in your power, because as we're going to discuss in this episode, authenticity is not responded to by others as much as nice as we think it's going to be. Yeah? So that's in essence what I think authenticity is. Being real, being true. It's a genuine expression of yourself, of different aspects of yourself. And it starts with self-awareness, a little acceptance of certain things, because self-awareness, if you're doing it right, isn't all just strengths and nice things. It's also limitations and weaknesses. And then also having a level of courage to be able to stand in that power and pay the price that we're going to talk about. What are ways that a person expresses authenticity? How can a person be authentic? I'm going to give you a range of options, some very surface level and some very deep. Firstly, your style. Your style can be how you speak. Your style could be how you dress, how you do your makeup, how you cut your hair. But if you have piercings, if you have tattoos, if you're a modest person, if you're a little more on the risky side, your style in general, what your favorite colors are, what particular trends you want to follow. So how you show up, your style. That's one way of expressing your authenticity. And in a lot of countries, that's not something you get a lot of pushback from. In the Caribbean, let me speak specific to Trinidad. It is very hard for you to express your authentic style without being stared at, made comments, a twist face. Trinis know what I'm talking about. It's wild. I had an experience where I was in England once, and I saw this woman walking down a road, and she was wearing a one-piece bathing suit, an open button-up shirt, sleeves folded, and knee-high boots, walking next to someone dressed quote-unquote normal. And not one person looked away. Nobody cared. It was like if she was dressing quote-unquote normal. And I had that moment, and this is where travel is so important, to open up your mind, because you realize the confines of the culture that you grew up in. And in Trinidad, you wear purple lipstick. The world is staring at you. Everybody twisting their face. Somebody might take a picture. They do just push back on any level of authenticity. You have to conform. You have to look quote unquote normal. And if you try anything, if you do your makeup a little bit different, you decide to wear heels to an event that people are wearing flats. You decide to wear flats to an event that people are wearing heels. You decide to wear a unique, a dress or outfit. If a guy decides to dress a little, you all know what I mean. Trinis know what I mean when I say authenticity style-wise in Trinidad. I can't speak for other Caribbean islands. I can only speak for Trinidad and Tobago. It is not overlooked. It's very focused on, and it doesn't lend a hand to people that have a challenge with social anxiety. So that's one way you can express authenticity. Another way you can express authenticity through your belief system. Whatever your faith is, whatever you believe, whatever you think is the purpose of human life, whatever your belief in God is, whatever your perspective is, whether it's based in a religion, whether it's more a spiritual route, which is just focusing on the relationship you have with God, rather than particular rules and regulations and traditions, etc. That's another way you can express your authenticity. And again, in this one, I think is a little bit more international, where if you have come from a home that practice a particular religion and you decide to practice another one, or you decide not to practice a religion at all, or you have a lot more of a different perspective on God and it doesn't suit the traditional perspectives, it's not very welcomed, right? But you have a right to your authenticity. You have a right to believe what you want to believe and practice your own faith. You do not have to do what your parents did. Adults that have properly gone through the levels of moral development based on Kohlberg's perspective, they are able to have a moral compass. Morals being what is right and what is wrong. They are able to have a moral compass that may or may not be similar to their parents. So most adults get stuck in stage 3 of the 4 levels of moral development based on Kohlberg's theory, where their moral compass is a replica of their parents' own. Everything that they judge as right and wrong is what is mom going to say, what is dad going to say, rather than being able to empower yourself beyond that and adopt some things that you also agreed with them and their perspective, but that you're able to have your own perspective that may or may not align with what church you follow, the elders that you have in your family, and even what laws say, right? So as a healthy adult, you're supposed to have your own unique moral compass, and that covers, again, what you think is your beliefs, what your faith is, what your religion is, what your spiritual relationship is, etc. Another way that authenticity is expressed is through your lifestyle. Your habits, your goals, how you live your life, what you do when you wake up in the morning, how you spend your week, what you see as a regular routine or a regular week routine or a regular month routine, habits, if you're someone that fasts often, if you're someone that work out often, if you're someone that does not believe in weightlifting, I don't know, but if you're someone that also, this is something else that gets a lot of pushback, if you're someone that does not eat a regular diet, like if you're someone that does not eat meat, does not eat dairy, has particular dietary restrictions or, their own preferences, all of that kind of encompasses lifestyles. And these are other ways that you can find your own authenticity that may or may not align with the group that you have come from, whether it's your friends or your family. Your values and morals, which I kind of mentioned under beliefs. So morals are what you think is right and wrong. So that's a little more dichotomous. It's either or. If you think something is right, if you think something is wrong. Some people's morals are based in a religion or from a particular spiritual scripture or book. And there are some people that if you don't align with a Bible, if you don't align with a particular spiritual literature, then there are other ways to also define what is right and wrong, and that goes into like moral philosophy. I feel like I should do an episode on moral philosophy, I feel like it's the second time I brought it up. Anyway, morals, right? So you're allowed to have your own authentic morals that may or may not align and conform with everyone else, and values are your list of priorities, what you think is important. If you are a family-oriented person, if you like nature, if you think health is important, if you think honesty is important, if you think authenticity is important, different things or beliefs or habits or traits that you deem as more important than others and other people are also going to have a different value system, right? So your value system I often see as a card tower. You are going to have top 2 values that are super important to you that may or may not look similar to where those 2 values are located in someone else's value system, and it might be a little bit lower down, and they may have other values where money and work is above family and above religion or above kindness, etc. Authenticity can also be expressed through your personality type. If you're an introvert, you're an ambivert, you're an extrovert, it can be expressed through your communication style. If you are a submissive personality, if you're an aggressive personality, if you're an assertive personality, it can be expressed through your disposition, how you show up. If you're a warm person, you're more of a stoic personality, and particular traits that you may have. If you're a friendly person, you're a little bit more standoffish. You are someone that openly shares. You're someone that holds your cards a little bit closer to your chest. So different personality traits, ways that you speak, ways that you communicate, ways that you show up as a person, are ways that you can express your authenticity. 3 more ways: your social relationships. So how you see relationships, and this is not just romantic relationships. Regarding romantic relationships, this is if you believe in marriage, if you don't believe in marriage. If you're a monogamous person, you're a polygamous person. If you are someone that has a particular sexual preference or not. If you are someone that is more of an asexual person and you don't want to be in a relationship and you don't see that there's a need for a relationship. And social relationships are also like partner choices. So this is something that also, I know it's not only in the Caribbean, most definitely, but I'm just speaking from the Caribbean, where there are a lot of homes and ethnicities that you are only going to be accepted if you get a partner of a particular race, or if you get a partner from a particular financial background. And if you don't, you're going to get the pushback. And if you have a different type than all the rest of your siblings or all the rest of your families or your cousins, that's another way you can express your authenticity. Yeah. Under social relationships are also friendships. If you are someone that is friends with a lot of people, or you are someone that really just, it takes a lot longer or a lot more standards or boundaries for you to let someone in. If you prefer to have friends with older people, with younger people, with people from other countries, if you have friends from different religions, any type, like your choices with social relationships is another way you can express your authenticity. Another expression of authenticity is your education choice or your occupation choice, what you decide to study, what you decide to do as a job. And that is even more, what's the word I want to look for? Not adaptable, open, flexible. Let's go with flexible. That's a lot more flexible in today's day and age, because you can make a decent income doing a lot of random things. Like people are on YouTube making money, eating food. All right. You can make money doing anything that you want to do. But again, there are the traditional jobs that are more expected or approved of from the older heads in your family. So you choosing to do another particular job, or you choose not to do a degree and you choose to do a trade instead, or you choose to do a skill. Those people are doing a skill and trade, they sometimes making more money than the people that spend years in doing a degree. Not downplaying degrees, because I did too. So do your degrees, get your education. If you want to go into a particular field that is only going to recognize you if you have certain letters behind your name, but you are allowed to also choose another route if you know that that career choice or what you're going to study aligns better with your personality and your interest. That is what you want to go and focus on. There are lots and lots of career development theorists that recommend the best way to choose a job that is ideal for you, that you're going to be happiest, you're going to be in a community that with other personalities that align with you, more room for growth, you're going to enjoy it, is finding a job that aligns with your personality type. They encourage self-awareness before you start to look for a job. One second, let me take a little sip of some coffee. So your job choice or education choice, what you choose to study, how you choose to go about life. You know, the board game, the game of life, where they have the people that choose the university route and there are the people that just jump into the workforce. Yeah. If you came from a family of what's the word I want to use? A lineage of lawyers or a lineage of doctors, but you are someone that you want to do makeup instead, or you want to be a barber instead, or you want to be a trainer, you want to be a yoga teacher, whatever you want to do, or you just want to be a stay-at-home mom, or you want to be a stay-at-home dad. All of those are ways that you can express your authenticity. And the last way that you can express your authenticity, and this kind of goes in line with the beliefs, the values, the lifestyles. This is just a little plug for my black sheeps. So much about your life, so much about your morals, your values, your style, all the things that we listed just now kind of compound in the life of a black sheep. So being that unique person in your family in all different ways. There are 4 kind of synonymous things that go along with black sheep. If you're a black sheep, you may also be the family scapegoat. Everything is your fault. No matter what's going on, any dysfunction in the family, it all ties back to you. Cycle breaker. Very important that black sheep realize how important your role is in your generation and in your family and in your bloodline, to know what cycles you want to break and to be courageous and endure enough of the experience to be able to break those cycles. You have been given ears to see and eyes to hear for a reason. And the 4th alignment with the black sheep, truth tellers. These are often the people that want to have the uncomfortable conversation, wants to talk about the dysfunction that nobody wants to address, wants to be honest with the dysfunctional personality, doesn't want to just play pretend, and you all know, if you know, you know. I definitely think that's another episode worth doing at some point. So if you also would like an episode on that black sheep cycle breaker, learning a little bit more behind what that experience is, and different ways to align with your right path, because like I said, that black sheep is a real important spiritual blessing. Once we get past the childhood bullying experiences or exclusion, it's important for you to make use of the reason why and understand and unlock and tap into why you were a black sheep and what are the cycles you need to break. Conversation for another time. Cost for authenticity. Now we're going to get into the bulk of this episode. What are some of the costs that come with authenticity? Because you don't stand in your authenticity and not have to pay some level of a cost. So we're going to go through 5. First one, disappointing others. If you choose to be authentic, choosing authenticity is almost a guarantee that you are going to disappoint someone's idea or vision for your life and what you should do. It's easy when we disappoint the teacher that we don't really care about. The teacher that told us you should do this as a job and we didn't do it, and now they give us the cold shoulder. Whatever. Sometimes it's easy to do that. Not all the time, but sometimes. But when I refer to disappointing others, I am talking about people that hold their places in your heart, like your grandparents, like your parents, like your older siblings. Those are a little bit harder. But you have your own life to live. And if you know deep down inside of you that there's something that's calling you, there's something you just don't want to conform, you don't want to just repeat the cycles, you want to choose a different path to your relationship with God, you want to choose a different way to express yourself, you have a different personality than everyone else, you feel the need to make the skill that you have or interest that you have into a job, whatever it is, you are going to disappoint others, and that's okay. I want to remind you, and I'm going to remind you again at the end of this episode, that if you are over 80, you're an adult and you don't need the approval of your parents anymore. I'm going to say that one more time. If you are over the age of 18, more so if you are independent in some shape or form, especially if you are over the age of 25 and you have a fully developed brain, you are not a child anymore that needs to make every life decision hinged on making everybody else proud and making everybody okay with your life. Yeah? So, first cost is disappointing others. It comes with it. It's part of it, and it's okay. No one's going to drop down. It's fine. They will go through their period, and if they're meant to be in your life and they value your relationship and a connection with you, they will get over themselves eventually. Cost number 2, similar to cost number 1, disapproval and rejection. You are going to get the disapproval of someone, and it's going to be spoken with a lot of shame and a lot of guilt spilling words, right? So you are going to get the, wow, I'm so disappointed with you. This is not the life I thought you were going to have. I thought you were going to do better. And you are also going to get the rejection. You're going to get the exclusion. This also may happen from our friends and our circles and people that we grew up with that we end up outgrowing. It's okay to outgrow people. It's pretty normal. You see it all over nature that we outgrow certain things, right? And it's us as humans, it's okay to outgrow people, relationships, circles, lives, our childhood habits, our childhood circles, those types of things. So cost number 2 is you are going to be disapproved of by people. They're going to use a lot of emotionally manipulative language. This is where emotional intelligence is important, so that you know your personality. You know if guilt cripples you more than the average Joe, and learn ways to be able to calm and regulate what is happening in your body so that you are not a prisoner to your emotions. Because if people know that it's easy to get under your skin and it's easy to make you feel guilty and bad, they are going to use it to their advantage for a lot of things, and then you become very easily manipulated. Yeah? Cost number 3. I refer to this as the pruning stage. Pruning in the plant world refers to when we go through a plant and we pull off all the half-dying leaves and stems, and we trim whatever we need to trim that clearly is showing signs of a lack of life or benefit. And when we trim those things, then all the nutrients that we are giving to the plant is now directed towards the parts of the plant that need it. Because when we have all the extra and the half-dead leaves and the yellow leaves and the dried up stems, all of those things suck nutrients and waste. We waste good nutrients. In this space, I'm going to refer to pruning regarding your social relationships, social spaces, social circles, maybe even jobs, habits. Yeah? So, pruning. You are going to lose people. You are going to outgrow people. And you are going to have to end relationships. We don't have to end a relationship because we despise the person. We don't have to end the relationship because the person has done something so brutally horrendous to us. If we realize that this person no longer aligns with us, we start to realize that when you're with them, you just don't feel great about yourself. They kind of pull on the tail of who you used to be versus who you are becoming. Maybe they served purposes or fulfilled needs that you had back then, but you no longer have anymore. Whatever is your reasons, you don't need to justify them to anyone, but there's a cost that comes with authenticity. You are going to lose people, and you're probably going to have some lonely moments. Because it's easier to have a lot of fake friends than it is to have lots of real ones. The people that have a lot of real friends, you are blessed beyond. But a lot of times when you hear people have very big circles and big friend circles and big friend groups, there's a lot of silent betrayal, a lot of gossiping, a lot of backstabbing, a lot that happens beyond what it appears to be. I always say, and this is Trini language, the more friends you have, the more fakery in the bakery. The more friends you have, the more fakery in the bakery. Yeah? So there's a cost to authenticity, and that is going to mean that you are going to outgrow relationships. It's easy to outgrow the short-term relationships. It's a little bit harder to outgrow the long-term relationships because we feel a level of like indebted to them. And that, well, it's been so long, we have to. So these can refer to close family relationships. It can refer to close friendships, and it can also refer to romantic relationships. Again, there are some people that we hold on to who they used to be, or we hold on to the friendship that we had at the beginning, and we hold on to the hope that it's going to return to that space without accepting, back to this acceptance, really accepting who they are. We hold on to the illusion we have in our mind of their potential, or who they could be, or who we want them to be, or who they used to be. And the fact is, I change, we change, they change, people change. And not all friendships, as I said, has to be ended in this like horrendous, horrible way. And not all people that we have outgrown are bad people. It can be a good person. They may not just be a good partner for us. They may not be a good friend for us and our needs and what we expect in relationships. Yeah? So there's a cost of social relationships, social spaces, comfort zones, if you want to refer to it like that. Comfort zones, comfort people that keep us in a space that we don't want to be if we really want to stand in our authentic power. Last two costs. There's a cost of unlearning and relearning, and it ain't fun. The survival tactics that kept you alive in old environments keep you from thriving in new environments. I'll say that again. The survival mechanisms, the survival tactics, the behaviors that served you in one space in your life that we should be grateful for because it helped us survive, it does not help us thrive. And it keeps you in survival mode when you are no longer in that environment anymore. You are now in a safer environment, you have a little bit more autonomy over your life, and you are still repeating survival tactics that are now limiting your ability to really embrace the goodness that you have created or that has been created around you. So there's a process of unlearning. There's the unlearning of the survival tactics. There's the unlearning of the habits, the responses, how we approach relationships. And there's the unlearning of identity. There's the moving away from having an identity that was given to us by people and what everyone said that we were or labeled us as, and releasing those things and starting to fill the answer behind I am yourself. And I am, well, this is what my mom said I was, this is what my dad said I was, this is what people in school used to say, this is what this ex used to say, this is what this friend used to call me. Yeah, there's a process of unlearning who you are and figuring out who you want to be. There are so much factors that play a role in our identity. The environments we came from, the social relationships we had, and our own biological makeup. Yeah? And we don't pay enough attention to the amount of things that shape us. You are not who you are today just because. You do not have the personality, the trust issues, the attraction to certain people or places or things just like that. You are a product of every environment in relationship experience that you've had. And you need to understand what happened to you, understand how it shaped you, and you can now relearn after we do the unlearning, relearn or learn differently who you actually are and who you want to be and how you want to show up and what living outside the survival mode looks like. Yeah, this is a step that I really encourage professional help with, because we thankfully live in a day and age where we have people that study these things and can help us. If you really want to reach some amazing body goals, you are going to get a proper trainer. You're going to follow a program. If you want to achieve certain mental, emotional goals, same goes for professionals. People don't just go into therapy because something's wrong with them or because they're broken. People go into therapy because they want to become the best version of themselves. They want to learn about themselves and need a guide. The same way that we see a lecturer, someone that can teach us something, a coach, a mentor, therapists can help us learn about ourselves, can give us an unbiased perspective, and they have the tools and understanding as to how to chisel away at what we have learned, help us unlearn it, help us release it in a self-compassionate way, and help us formulate who we want to show up as. And the last cost, unpleasant feelings. The journey of authenticity is not fun and pleasant all the time. It comes with a lot of good discomfort. Good discomfort was the first episode from episode 1, the first thing I started off this podcast talking about. So I'm going to put a little thing up for that. There's bad discomfort and there's good discomfort. And the journey of authenticity brings a lot of good discomfort. Good discomfort is discomfort that has a certain timeline. It isn't this long, ridiculous, continuous journey with no end in sight, and there's always rewards behind it. And the journey of authenticity, the discomfort, the unlearning, the pruning, the disapproval, the rejection, all of it is going to bring about unpleasant emotions. But we cannot be adults running from discomfort. If you do not build a tolerance for discomfort, you're going to stay the same. And guess what? That's uncomfortable too. It's just a discomfort that you're accustomed to. So it's a dysfunctional comfort zone. But yeah, the unpleasant feelings that you may feel, tapping back to the cost of pruning, loneliness. You're going to have a level of loneliness. And if we don't learn how to sit with our loneliness, we are going to be in continuous unhealthy relationships. Not just with unhealthy people, but you can also get with someone that's healthy. And if you don't work on your emotional codependence, you're going to mash that up as well. We have to be able to sit with ourselves. We have to be able to learn how to enjoy our own company and not be so dependent on people and social relationships. We cannot be alone all the time. We need social interaction for our health, our immunity. We need people. But we cannot be in such a space where we cannot function on our own. And we talk a lot about struggles for introverts, but they could be lonely, yeah? They enjoy their company. Extroverts often struggle with this one. Extroverts run from the loneliness, run from the solitude. They prefer the distractions, the overstimulations, the constant conversations. And because of that, they have a lot of unresolved ish. So loneliness is an unpleasant feeling that you're going to feel when you're figuring out your authenticity. Guilt, that comes with all the tactics that people are going to use around you when they start to realize that you are choosing your own path and not the path that they have predestined for you. Anger, when you realize some of the injustice that you have experienced. Anger when you realize that certain people that you thought were going to stay in your corner and be proud of you on this journey aren't. You're going to deal with a lot of grief. And this grief, I am not talking about death. I am talking about grief from loss. Loss of your old identity, loss of your old life, or loss of social bonds and people that are still alive that you have now distanced yourself from. There's going to be a lot of grief. And there's these different stages of grief. There's the denial, there's the bargaining, there's the anger, there's the depression. Then we come to acceptance. and you're going to cry a lot. There's certain clients that I look at and I have to give them the warning within the first or second session, and I look at them and I tell them, you're going to have a lot of crying to do. Just know, just brace yourself. That is a lot of crying. Crying is healthy, it's normal, it's our body's way of detoxing certain emotions and responding to certain heavy emotions. Sad, happy, all of them. Anger, all of them. And a lot of people overdue for a cry, a good cry. Yeah? So those are the 5 costs that I thought of regarding authenticity. If there are any other costs that you think associated with authenticity, definitely add it to the comments below so that everyone else can benefit from your own little nuggets of wisdom. Now we're going to move on to tips. We're going to close off the content part of it with some tips now. Right? So I have, how much tips I have? I have 6 tips. First tip. You are allowed to create your own family. And by creating your own family or your own created family, I am not just talking about procreation and being with a romantic partner and making children. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about creating a circle of people that are able to fulfill the needs that your family should have. These can be friends. These are your safe people. And this is also sometimes people go through a part in their life where their only safe person is their therapist at that particular stage of their life. And that is okay. One safe person, even if it's a professional, at least one person keeps us afloat. Yeah, so you are going to have, with the pruning process and the releasing of people and realizing how much people aren't aligned with who you want to be anymore, you are going to have to, and I encourage you to create your own family. And that may be done by reconnecting to some people that your family told you never to talk to, because maybe they are also a black sheep. It may be connecting with friends that, again, people around you don't approve of. Hopefully they're safe people and safe friends. It may also be putting yourself out there. Introverts, your friends are not going to knock on your bedroom door and walk inside and say, hey, I want to be friends with you. No. And there are a lot of connecting events that happen. I know some in Trinidad as well, where you go and it's a bunch of strangers that come and, there's some icebreakers and you get to meet people. You don't have to go to connecting events as well. You can also just go to things that align with your personality. If you're a creative person, go to a sip and paint. You might pull some smalls with somebody that you actually kind of enjoy. Go to gym. Chat a little bit with 1 or 2 strangers that you kind of feel a good vibe with. Go outdoors. Maybe you might start to see someone regularly that also comes outdoors the same day that you do. Put yourself in environments that align with your personality, and you're also going to find similar minds there. Yeah? So create your own family. Positive reinforcement. When you know that you are making a hard choice that is for the betterment of you and is for your growth, don't just overlook it. Pat yourself on the back. Brittney, I'm proud of you for doing that. I know that was so hard for you to do, and I am so proud of you. It's okay. What do you want? You had a hard day today. How can I make your day a little bit better? You want ice cream? Let's go and get you a little scoop of ice cream. Start to speak to yourself with some self-compassion. Being hard and mean and critical to yourself ain't going to get you nowhere, and all it's going to do is break your self-esteem. Self-compassion, kind words to yourself, speaking to yourself the way that you would speak to a friend that you care deeply about. Yeah, the human behavior is repeated when there's positive reinforcement. So acknowledge the small wins, the big wins, the small changes. Very often stop and think, what are some things that I am proud of myself for this week? Highlight those things, because we spend too much time ruminating and criticizing ourselves for one bad decision. And when we make a good one, water off a duck's back. We don't even study it. We don't spend any time thinking about it. positive reinforcement to acknowledge the hard choices that you are making and the ways that you are showing up for yourself. Outlets. I think this is also something worth doing an episode on. Outlets for you to get out all the unpleasant feelings. Don't let them stay in your body. Stretch your body, move your body, do some mobility, do some stretching, run, walk, push some weights, sweat, cry, write it out, scream it out, do some pillow slams, push on a wall, go a little kickboxing class, do some hitting sports, football, tennis, pickleball. Find ways and outlets for your emotions, especially strong emotions like grief, anger, sadness. Do not sit in it for long. I'm not saying don't sit in it. Sit in it. Feel it. Don't be afraid of the feelings. Sit in it, feel it, acknowledge it. But know when you need to get it out of your body and help your body get it out. Yeah? So as I said, cry it out. I think I spoke about outlets in the 7 keys for mental health. So I'm going to put that up. That's an episode that I think I did. It was last season. Last season I did that episode. So I spoke about a few outlets as well and kind of repeated stuff that I just said. Another tip, just a reminder again, 2 things. You are not a child that needs the approval of your parents. You are not a child that needs the approval of your parents. And I'm repeating this especially to my Caribbean people, because in a Caribbean home, we are treated like children for so long that we are now 20-something years old or 30-something years old, and we are genuinely seeing ourselves like a child. And we operate like a child mentally. Not we do anything, we have the big people job and we're doing all of it. But emotional maturity wise, we are still operating because we've been treated like that. Caribbean households have a unique way of having adult expectations of children. So you're 9 years old, but you can babysit your 2 siblings. But don't answer back. Don't have an opinion. Forget about the answer back. Don't have an opinion. No, you can't do X, Y, Z. No, you can't make your own decisions because you're just a child. Who you feel you are? You are just a little child. I look like one of your friends. We all know them lines. So they have a unique ability of having adult expectations for children, but then quickly reminding them that they're just a child. So I am just reminding you that you are a child and you do not need your parents' approval, and it's okay for your parents to be a little unhappy with you. Yeah. Second little reminder, it's okay not to be liked. You ain't never going to be liked by everybody. Impossible. You could spend every waking moment and make every single decision rooted on the hope that I am going to do this for this person to like me, and I'm going to do this for this person to like me, and they're still going to have somebody that don't like you, and that's okay. Especially when you decide to stand in your authenticity. There are more fake people than authentic people in this world. And only a lot of times in our society, wrong things are approved of and are normalized. And when you say something that you want to do that's something good for you, for your mental health, for your physical health, for your spiritual health, that is made to feel a how. You are more bullied for having morals than you are for not having morals. You'll get a lot more approval if you do what everybody else does. So again, it's okay to be liked. It's okay to not be liked. And you ain't never going to be liked by everybody. It's impossible. So just start to get comfortable with not being liked. And notice the urges and how much you shut down when you realize somebody else doesn't like you. That's something that you need to work on. Second to last tip, begin to tune into your needs and wants. You can only figure out and come into your authenticity, your uniqueness, your realness, your trueness when you understand yourself. And if you spent a lot of time in environments that you had to conform to, that your decisions were what's best for the whole group than what's best for you, you've drown out your needs and wants, and you have a big distance between you and your own needs and wants. So practice very often asking yourself, what do I want right now? What do I need right now? Understanding also that adulthood is not only doing what we want, but it's more doing what we need. Like, I don't want to go to gym, but I know that my anxious brain needs the gym. So even though I don't want to show up to it, I'm going to do it because that's part of adulthood. It's having the freedom of choice and still making the right choice for yourself. Yeah? So tune in often to what your needs and wants are. Asking yourself, and every time you get a I don't know, then that's even more reason to sit, because there's an answer to that question. You've just not asked it as often as you are accustomed to not asking it. So the easiest answer is, I don't know what I want right now. There's an answer. Spend some time, be patient with yourself. Be patient with the journey. And last tip, spend some quality time with yourself. Again, authenticity starts with self-awareness, and we're only going to learn about ourselves if we spend that quality time. I'm not just talking about spending time with yourself and scrolling on your phone and watching a show and watching a movie and doing something else. That's very different to spending quality time. You know that love language quality time? That love language quality time does not get ticked when we are just in the company of another person and their attention is elsewhere. Spend that quality time with yourself. Do things in your own company. Enjoy your company. Spend time with yourself. Ask questions to yourself. Talk to yourself. It's very healthy to talk to yourself. Spend that quality time so you get to know yourself a little bit better. Self-awareness is the root of any level of transformation. If you want to build self-esteem, start with self-awareness. You cannot value something you don't understand or know. If you want to build emotional intelligence, you have to understand your emotions, your reactions, your triggers before you begin to regulate your emotions and calm them down. You want to find the best career for you? Understand your personality, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses, your talents. Then match your personality type to your work environment or your education choice. Lots and lots of transformation. You want to find the right partner for yourself? Romantic-wise, you want to find the right friend for yourself? Learn yourself so that you understand what you need and what you need around you and what contributes to your peace, what contributes to your chaos. Yeah? And that's all the content for today. So as promised at the end of these episodes, before we do the mindful meditation moment, I always attach, which I'm going to put up now, so you're only going to see this if you're watching on YouTube. I always put up some journal prompts or recommended little home assignments for you to work on, little things that you can write on, things that you can input into your normal routine, just things to help you take these seeds that were given in this episode and plant it a little bit deeper. So I'm going to put that up now for you. And now we're going to do our little mindful moment. So, disclaimer. If you are driving, if you are in the company of others, if you're in an environment that you are not that safe for you to close your eyes, please pause this episode. Come back to it later on in your day when you are a little bit safer and you can take your attention away from your surroundings. Big disclaimer. Again, do not do this mindful moment if you are driving, if you are somewhere that you cannot take your attention away. This is meant to be done when you are relaxed, when you're in a space that you can afford a couple minutes of closed eyes to relax. We're going to start with bringing yourself as upright as possible in a seated position, bringing your legs down to the floor, feet hip distance apart. Bring your palms onto your thighs and allow your eyes to close down. Start to bring a little bit of awareness to your present moment, to where you are right now, to the sounds that you are hearing in your environment, to the temperature of the room, to the sensation of whatever jewelry or clothes you are wearing resting on your body, to the feel of the pressure of whatever you are sitting on. Tune in to any tingles that you feel in the base of your feet. Tune into any tingles that you feel in your palms. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Allow your bottom jaw to separate from your top jaw. Allow your tongue to rest in your bottom jaw and the tip of your tongue touch the back of your teeth. Allow your eyebrows and forehead to melt. Release any tension in your tummy, letting it inflate and deflate with your breath. Release any tension you have in your legs. Allow your arms to go heavy. Beginning to notice your breathing, taking it from something that is autopilot that you aren't even aware of, to putting your awareness and attention on it. Noticing the pace of your breath. Noticing if your inhales are stuck in your chest. Starting to guide your inhales through your nose into your belly, inflating your belly nice and big, and deflating your belly, exhaling out your nose. Keeping some nice steady inhales in through your nose into your belly, and some nice exhales out your belly, out your nose. We're going to do a very simple breathing technique. It's called 4-7-8. I'm going to explain it. We're going to practice 1 round, and then we're going to do a couple rounds, and then that's going to be it for our mindful moment today. 4-7-8 breathing technique is going to be an inhale for 4 seconds in through your nose into your belly, and an exhale out your belly, out your nose. 4-7-8 breathing technique is going to be an inhale in through your nose into your belly for 4 seconds. Then we're going to hold that breath for 7 seconds. We're going to exhale that out for 8 seconds. Now, a reminder that you can hold your breath without any tension in your body. So notice if when you're holding your breath for those 7 seconds, if you're clenching your shoulders, you're clenching your legs, allow your body to stay rested here and relaxed here. And pace your exhale for the 8 seconds. So we're going to do a round together just so that we feel what the count feels like. And then we're going to do some consecutively. Keeping your inhales and exhales through your nose. Exhale wherever you are. Empty out all the air. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out your nose for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to normal breathing. So you would have felt it out. Now you know what it feels like to hold your breath for 7 seconds. That 8-second exhale makes sure we empty out all any air left in our body, and making sure to pace and have a nice big deep inhale for those 4 seconds. We're going to do a couple rounds now, one after the other, and I'm going to guide you through, sometimes counting and sometimes just signaling the inhale, the hold, and the exhale. Exhaling wherever you are. Inhale through your nose into your belly for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold without tension for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And long exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to normal breathing. Just noticing if you're a little bit more present, if your mind is a little bit quieter, if your body is a little bit calmer. Some self-regulation tactics work for some, and some does not work for some. So just observe, just notice how it resonated with you. Allowing yourself to sit in this moment of stillness for a couple more seconds. Observing your heart rate. Keeping a steady inhale through your belly and out your belly. And when you are ready, very gently fluttering your eyes open, taking your time. Thank you everyone for joining me for another episode. I thoroughly enjoy creating these episodes for you and giving some little wisdom nuggets that I have gotten over the years in the mental health field. A lot of these episodes are created in my mind based on repeated things within my clients' lives or conversations that I'm having. And I have had the pleasure of experiencing lots and lots of clients that were already in their authenticity when they came into meetings or found it throughout the meetings. And we've spoken so much about, again, all the different costs that there is. So I thought that this was such a useful episode. So I hope that you learned something from it. Hope that you gained a little bit of peace from our mindful moments. A gentle reminder that all of these episodes, an episode is posted once a month, every month, on the 11th at 11:11 a.m. So I will see you guys here next month as well. If there are any episodes that you all would like, any things or topics that you all want me to talk some more about, that you need a little bit more understanding behind, feel free to either send me a message, send me an email, or drop a comment below. Thank you as always for all the time that you spent here. I hope you have a very peaceful rest of your night and evening, and I will see you all soon again. Bye guys.